Urgent prophecy. Chosen one, your blessings are unlocked, but only if you open this before sunset. Heaven's window will close soon. My beloved child, heaven is speaking urgently tonight. Before the sun sets, a divine clock is ticking in your favor. Archangel Michael whispers, the seal has been broken. Your name has been lifted before the throne of mercy. But there's a gate still waiting for your spirit to open it. When you hear this message, it means time is collapsing fast. Every delay you faced is standing on its final breath now. The realm of light is vibrating with your divine signature. Michael stands at the threshold holding your spiritual key. This message isn't a coincidence, it's an appointment. Heaven has waited for you to come into this moment fully. You are the carrier of an ancient promise buried in time. But the door will not remain open past sunset, it will seal. And what you do now determines the overflow waiting for you. To see, the blessings you cried for are already unlocked. The river is flowing, but the dam of hesitation blocks it. Archangel Michael says, move. Don't question, just believe. When you obey the divine call, the spiritual chain snaps open. It's not about luck, it's about alignment with heaven's rhythm. And right now, heaven's rhythm is pulsing through your name. This is the hour of divine acceleration. Don't pause here. You've been sensing something sacred in the atmosphere lately. That unease. It's heaven's signal, not anxiety. It's the angelic nudge to look up before the light fades away. The prophecy says, the chosen will see a golden sign before dusk. Maybe through a number, a name, a sudden inner warmth. When it comes, say, I am ready, and the blessing will descend. Your readiness is the key. Your faith is the door hinge itself. Archangel Michael's sword of truth is cutting through the delay. He's dismantling old blockages tied to fear and disbelief. Every lost opportunity is turning back toward you, multiply. But listen, this moment is delicate, it requires surrender. If you wait too long, the window of grace will close for this season. The angels won't leave you, but the timing will shift forward. Obedience is what locks eternity into your earthly reality. Before you scroll, this next revelation holds your personal code. Your spiritual alignment is one act of faith away from eruption. Type I am open in the comments if this speaks to your spirit. Blessing code 4411 is now released over your destiny. Dearest heart, the moment your spirit opened to these words, a heavenly ripple began. The angels have already marked your awareness as a sign of readiness. Archangel Michael has been stationed beside you, guarding the threshold of your unfolding destiny. You may not see him with your natural eyes, but his presence is palpable in the sudden warmth around you, in the quiet whisper that says, you are not too late. Heaven has been waiting for this very hour, your name written across the scroll of divine timing. This is not just another message, it's the echo of a heavenly decree spoken over your existence long before you were born. And now that decree is calling itself to completion. The realm of light has been stirred because your obedience has been noted. You see, heaven does not move on need, it moves on faith. Many have prayed, but few have listened. Yet you, chosen one, have paused here, sensing something sacred in the vibration of this message. Michael says your attention is proof that your spirit has matured into divine sensitivity. You are no longer being prepared, you are being positioned. The waiting you endured was not punishment, it was divine alignment. Heaven could not release what you were not yet ready to sustain. Every tear, every disappointment, every silent battle in your heart was a refining fire, burning away the residue of fear and making space for power. Do you remember the moments you felt unseen, as though heaven had forgotten you? Archangel Michael reveals that those were the seasons when angels stood closest to your heart, collecting every sigh like incense. You were not being ignored. You were being watched, measured, prepared. Your silence was your altar, and your endurance was your offering. Now, the offering has reached heaven, and the smoke has touched the throne of grace. The response is unfolding even now, disguised as a moment that looks ordinary, but carries divine weight. The people around you may not see it, but heaven's eyes are on you. Archangel Michael stands with his sword drawn, not in battle, but in activation. He is cutting through invisible layers that once delayed your promises. Those chains that made you feel stuck are already melting in the fire of divine intervention. You will soon see sudden alignments, doors opening without explanation, names being mentioned in rooms you've never entered, favor finding you in unexpected places. These are not coincidences. They are confirmations. Heaven is not reacting to your circumstances. Heaven is fulfilling prophecy. There is something sacred about this exact time. The sun, the stars, and the spiritual realms are synchronized. This alignment does not happen often. It's a window, a divine convergence where heavens will meet human readiness. Michael calls it the window of restoration. It opens briefly, and those who perceive it walk through into acceleration. But those who delay, those who second-guess the call, find themselves waiting for another cycle. The Spirit of God does not punish hesitation, but it does honor faith that moves quickly. You are being asked not to analyze this, but to respond. The blessing is not waiting to be discovered. It's waiting to be received. Chosen one, this is your cue to act. There is something heaven asked of you long ago, perhaps an act of forgiveness, a step of courage, a release of fear, and you postponed it, thinking the timing wasn't right. But now the Spirit says, do it before sunset. This instruction is not metaphorical, it's prophetic. It means, before another day closes, align your heart completely with obedience. When you do, you'll sense a sudden shift, a lightness in your spirit, a divine confirmation. This is how you'll know heaven's window is still open for you. Michael shows me a vision of many blessings hovering just above your reach. They are not gone. They are suspended, waiting for your movement of faith. You've been praying for a miracle, but heaven says, the miracle is waiting for your yes. Your yes releases the seal. Your surrender breaks the lock. The moment you stop striving to understand and start choosing to trust, the heavens open in response. The blessing you were chasing will begin chasing you. This prophetic window is not about fear. It's about divine timing. The reason the message feels urgent is because heaven operates on seasons. There are moments where obedience carries multiplied power. Right now is one of those moments. If you could see what happens in the unseen when you respond in faith, you would never hesitate again. Archangel Michael's wings stretch across your atmosphere, covering you in divine assurance. He guards your home, your heart, and your destiny from the enemy's interference. The adversary has tried to distract you, to make you scroll away, to fill your mind with doubt, but heaven fought to bring you here. You are reading this because your spirit overcame distraction. Before the light fades today, pause and speak aloud. Heavenly Father, I am ready. I receive the blessing that bears my name. When you say this, something will stir. It might be a chill across your skin, or tears you cannot explain, or a peace that silences every anxious thought. That's not emotion. That's confirmation. That's heaven's signature sealing the moment. Don't ignore it. Let your arc respond, because the angels are listening for your voice to echo the decree that has already been written about you. This message is not for everyone. It is for the awakened, the chosen remnant, the ones who can discern heaven's whisper amidst earthly noise. You are part of that remnant. This is why you feel the urgency. It's not pressure. It's destiny calling you by name. You've been prepared for this intersection of obedience and opportunity. Heaven's plan for your life is not behind schedule. It's right on time. Every divine promise carries a moment like this, a gate that demands awareness and action. You are standing before that gate right now. Wait for it, because the next part will uncover the hidden pattern behind your recent experiences. The things that seemed random will suddenly make sense. There's a divine map that has been guiding your every step, even in your confusion. What's coming next will reveal how close you truly are to breakthrough. Type "I receive my alignment" in the comments if your spirit is resonating with this word. Blessing code 5522 is now activated over your timeline. Beloved vessel of light, as this message continues, heaven's rhythm grows louder in your spirit. Archangel Michael has not departed since the last word. He still stands near you, guarding the sacred path that is unfolding under your feet. Right now, the air around you carries the vibration of breakthrough, and every whisper of doubt is being silenced by divine certainty. The angels are not distant observers. They are active participants in your story, and this moment, right now, marks a heavenly appointment where your spirit and God's timing finally meet. You've wondered if your faith has been seen. You've questioned whether your prayers have reached beyond the ceiling of your room. Michael says, every syllable you released in pain has been collected and multiplied. The evidence of that truth is beginning to manifest. When heaven unlocks blessings, it doesn't always appear as an explosion of miracles overnight. Sometimes it starts as a change of atmosphere, a peace that feels unfamiliar because you've lived so long in tension. That peace is the first sign that the window of favor has opened for you. You must understand, chosen one, that divine timing is not measured by human clocks. The urgency in this message is not to make you anxious. It's to help you recognize the sacred pulse of this moment. Heaven has already decided in your favor. Now it's your decision that releases what's been waiting. Archangel Michael says, the command has gone forth. Now faith must respond. You are standing in the divine exchange between promise and manifestation. I see a vision unfolding through the spirit. You've been carrying what feels like heavy stones in your heart. Disappointments, broken expectations, people who misunderstood you. But as this word enters your spirit, the stones begin to lift. You are not meant to carry what God already resolved. Archangel Michael's sword glows in the invisible realm, cutting away emotional attachments that block your new beginning. He says, you cannot enter the next door while holding keys to the old one. This is the moment to release everything that no longer matches your destiny. Your release is not loss. It's preparation for expansion. The divine realm calls this process holy surrender. It's the point where trust outweighs logic. For too long, you've tried to calculate divine movement, expecting patterns that made sense to your human understanding. But the Spirit is whispering, this one, this door, this miracle will not follow your formula. It will follow your obedience. That is why heaven asks for one thing before sunset. Not perfection, but participation. You don't need to fix everything. You just need to respond. The moment you do, a flood of acceleration will overtake you. You may feel the tension of transition, the strange mix of faith and fear. That's normal for chosen ones on the brink of revelation. Archangel Michael says this tension is a spiritual contraction. It means the birth of something new is imminent. You've reached the edge of the season you once prayed for. And yet, it feels heavy because old energy resists release. Don't mistake resistance for rejection. It's the weight of destiny rearranging your atmosphere. The next chapter of your life is not being built outside of you. It's unfolding within you. Every cell of your being is adjusting to hold more light, more clarity, more divine authority. You're not just receiving a blessing. You're being transformed into a vessel that can carry one. Listen closely, beloved. Heaven is teaching you how to govern miracles, not just witness them. Many pray for blessings, but few are prepared to maintain them. Archangel Michael is training your discernment, shaping your hearing, sharpening your response. This is why you've been placed in silence for a season. Heaven has been fine-tuning your frequency. You had to lose certain distractions so that your spirit could hear this message without interference. Every disappointment that forced you into solitude was divine tutoring. And now, your graduation moment has come. Before you let doubt whisper again, remember this truth. Divine delays are not denials. They're calibrations. The time you thought was wasted is actually sacred evidence that heaven was rearranging your surroundings so that when the blessing arrived, it wouldn't find chaos, but capacity. That's why the window of opportunity opens now. It opens when heaven knows you can handle what you've been asking for. The Spirit says, your capacity has been proven. You have survived tests that were meant to break others. That survival is your certificate of readiness. Michael now releases a spiritual wind across your path. This wind carries restoration. Expect to see sudden reconnections, long-forgotten opportunities returning, and favor manifesting through unexpected sources. These are signals that the window of heaven has opened in your direction. Do not panic when old memories surface, or when unusual dreams come. It's heaven reordering your inner structure to fit your upgraded assignment. Each dream, each sign, each whisper is designed to guide your next move. Beloved, as this revelation continues, pause here and breathe deeply. This is the part where many turn away, thinking they've heard enough, but those who linger witness the supernatural. Before you scroll away, I promise, the revelation that follows will change the way you see your waiting. You are standing in the space between prophecy spoken and prophecy fulfilled. This is sacred territory. Stay attentive. The Spirit is not finished with you. Now, if this word is stirring your faith, lift your heart in agreement. Type I am ready for restoration in the comments to affirm heaven's timing. Blessing code 7710 is now activated over your life. Before we continue, I want to speak directly to the hearts who feel this message burning within. When Archangel Michael speaks, he doesn't just call individuals. He summons destiny helpers, kingdom builders, and light carriers. If this message is touching your spirit, you are part of that divine circle. The mission of these prophetic words is not entertainment. It is a movement to awaken souls, to carry light into dark places, and to remind a sleeping world that heaven still speaks. If you have been blessed by this divine word, take a step that supports the mission. Every offering, every super thanks, every seed sown into this prophetic movement helps the message of heaven travel to others who are still in darkness. You are not giving to a channel. You are sowing into salvation, into breakthrough, into transformation for countless others. As you sow, envision your seed as light carried by angels into the hearts of those who need it most. Remember the promise of Luke 6:38. Give, and it shall be given unto you. Good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. This is not just a verse. It's heaven's living system of divine exchange. When you release into this movement, you participate in heaven's multiplication. I invite you personally, Step into that rhythm today. You can support through YouTube Super Thanks, membership, or by using the PayPal link in the video description. As you give, I declare prophetically, your seed will speak louder than your situation. Your obedience will become a magnet for divine overflow. Heaven's oil will not run dry in your house. This act of giving is not donation. It's activation. Open your heart, sow with intention, and say aloud, I release my light to multiply. Blessing number 9,901 seals your obedience and marks you as a vessel of divine generosity. Beloved child of divine promise, the Spirit continues to move. You have crossed a sacred threshold since the last revelation, and though your surroundings may look the same, your spiritual atmosphere has shifted. The very air around you hums with unseen activity. Archangel Michael stands at the edge of your destiny, watching as heaven's order unfolds step by step. You may have felt a strange stirring recently, a pull to withdraw from certain voices, a quiet urge to pray without knowing why. That, beloved, is not random emotion. It is your spirit responding to heaven's synchronization. The window of blessing that opened earlier is widening, but it demands deeper awareness from you now. This part of the journey is not about asking. It's about alignment. The angels are adjusting your frequency to hear what others cannot. Archangel Michael whispers, this next move requires silence before sound. Heaven is preparing to release a word into your atmosphere that carries the power of reversal. Every situation that has felt stuck, every promise that seemed delayed, is standing in line for activation. But you must first still your heart long enough to recognize the divine pattern. The blessing you are about to receive is not a single event. It's a chain reaction. One shift will open the next. One act of obedience will unlock multiple doors. You have prayed for breakthrough, but heaven is sending you a series of divine alignments. These alignments will not look spectacular at first. They might appear as simple nudges, chance encounters, or sudden intuition, but each is heaven's fingerprint on your path. This is why the Spirit warns, do not dismiss small beginnings. Every miracle begins with a whisper. Every prophetic door opens through a humble response. When you sense a divine prompting, call that person, release that apology, step out in faith, do not delay. The angels move in rhythm with your readiness. When you respond instantly, the energy of heaven multiplies around you. Michael says, quick obedience opens ancient gates. Those gates, once locked for generations in your lineage, are now responding to your yes. You are not just stepping into your blessing, you are redeeming time for those who came before you. The bloodline that carried unfulfilled prayers now finds resolution in your courage. There is a holy momentum building. Heaven is preparing to unveil connections that were hidden for your protection. You will soon understand why certain paths were closed, why some relationships dissolved, and why certain doors stayed locked despite your faith. Every delay was a disguise for divine preservation. Archangel Michael reveals that had those doors opened earlier, they would have drained your strength before your appointed season. Heaven hid you until the right moment, and that moment is now. The concealment phase is ending, and the unveiling has begun. The Spirit says, you will no longer be overlooked. You will be divinely recognized. Those who dismissed you will witness your elevation, not because of revenge, but because of redemption. In the unseen, angels are weaving new pathways of influence around you. There is a rearranging of opportunities and platforms, a divine repositioning that will make sense only in hindsight. Do not be surprised if you suddenly feel a pull toward unfamiliar territory. God is not calling you to comfort. He is calling you to expansion. Michael says, the chosen are not meant to fit, They are meant to shift. You are not entering a place that already exists for you. You are building the space heaven intends to occupy through you. The discomfort you feel is proof of promotion. As the light of heaven increases over your path, so does the attention of darkness. The adversary always stirs when heaven moves in power. But Archangel Michael reminds you that the battle is already won. The enemy has no authority over the obedient heart. The only way darkness gains ground is through distraction and delay. Do not be entangled by unnecessary battles. When you feel opposition rising, remember this: your stillness is your strength. When you refuse to react in fear, heaven fights for you. The angels are more active when you rest in faith than when you strive and worry. The Lord says, "Stand still, and you will see the salvation I have prepared." This phase of your journey requires focus. You must guard your spiritual gates, your eyes, your ears, and your speech. What you consume in this hour determines what multiplies in your spirit. Speak life, even when the evidence contradicts it. Declare, "I am in divine timing. I will not miss my window." Every word you speak becomes either a seed or a snare. Heaven's language is faith. Align your speech with what God is saying, not what fear is suggesting. Michael's sword enforces the declarations of those who speak in agreement with heaven. When your words match God's will, angels are dispatched instantly. Now, beloved, listen carefully to this revelation. The next 24 hours are spiritually pregnant with manifestation. Something you have been waiting for is already in transit. Heaven is not deciding whether to bless you. It is preparing how to deliver it. The only thing that can close this window prematurely is unbelief. Doubt is the only lock that can resist heaven's key. But faith, even the size of a mustard seed, can break every delay. This is why the Spirit urges you to remain steady, even when nothing seems to move. The unseen is working faster than your eyes can register. In this atmosphere of expectancy, lift your hands where you are and whisper, "I align with heaven's order." Feel that peace. That is confirmation. Every molecule in your environment is responding to your faith right now. What you feel is not imagination. It is resonance with heaven's vibration. Archangel Michael declares that your name is being spoken in divine counsel this very hour. Favor is being attached to your identity. Before long, the natural world will begin to mirror what has already been established in the spirit. Before this message concludes, remember, those who stay connected to the revelation until the end receive the fullness of the release. Each word carries light, and the next part unveils a mystery few have understood about the closing window of heaven. Do not drift now. The next revelation will decode your recent spiritual warfare. Type "I align with heaven's order" in the comments as your declaration of agreement. Blessing code 8844 is now activated over your next season. Beloved soul of divine assignment, as this revelation deepens, the heavens continue to speak with increasing clarity. You are walking through a moment that angels call the divine intersection. It is the meeting point between old promises and new fulfillment. Archangel Michael stands beside you as the guardian of this threshold, and even now, he is ensuring that no counterfeit opportunity distracts you from the true door. Many doors will appear at once in this season. Some glitter with deception, others shimmer with truth. Heaven says, do not choose by sight, choose by peace. The peace of God will mark the correct path, while confusion will expose false alignments. The next steps you take will determine not only your blessing but the legacy that follows after you. You are walking on holy ground, and the spiritual atmosphere surrounding you has never been this alive with divine intention. The Spirit of the Lord reveals that your preparation season has concluded. The lessons, the pruning, the heartbreak, the refining, all of it was heaven's classroom. Now comes the activation. Everything that once seemed wasted has become wisdom stored in your spirit. Every pain you survived is now power in your mouth. You are not entering this next phase empty. You are armed with revelation. That is why the enemy fought you so violently before this message reached you. He knew that if you ever truly believed again, nothing could stop your acceleration. And now, here you stand, stronger, sharper, more sensitive to the whisper of God than ever before. Archangel Michael is showing me a vision. It is the image of a window, radiant with golden light, hovering above the horizon. The window begins to close slowly, not as punishment, but as a reminder. Heaven's timing is sacred. There are seasons when the favor of God flows like a river, and those who move in faith are carried effortlessly by its current. But when hesitation lingers, that current shifts to another flow. This is not meant to create fear. It is meant to awaken awareness. The Spirit says, move while the waters are stirring. Just as the man by the pool of Bethesda had to step into the water at the right moment, so must you act when divine motion begins. The window will not remain open indefinitely. It exists for those who recognize divine urgency as opportunity, not pressure. Chosen one, this is why you have been feeling the restlessness inside your spirit. It is heaven pushing you to move, to act, to step boldly where you once hesitated. You have prayed long enough. Now faith must take shape through action. For some, that action may be releasing something you've held onto. Fear, unforgiveness, control. For others, it means saying yes to a divine instruction that has lingered too long in your heart. Michael says, the obedient will inherit acceleration. The moment you obey, you will notice things aligning that had resisted you for years. Calls will come, doors will open, opportunities will surface, because obedience rearranges the spiritual architecture of your environment. Now, you must also understand this truth. Every new level of blessing requires a new level of stillness. This is not the stillness of inactivity, but of confidence. The chosen must learn how to rest while heaven works. Anxiety interrupts miracles. Peace sustains them. As you enter this next dimension of blessing, protect your peace like a crown. Do not let the noise of comparison or the voice of impatience disturb your divine focus. The angels are at work, and your only task is to remain aligned in faith. Every breath you take in gratitude strengthens the bridge between what is promised and what is visible. Heaven is not far. It is intertwined with your obedience. Archangel Michael says, this is the hour where divine evidence will appear. Things you once only imagined will begin to take tangible form. The blessing will not come as a whisper. It will come as manifestation. For months, the Spirit has been preparing others to meet you, to assist you, to open doors on your behalf. You will soon witness how intricately heaven arranges human connections. People who do not even know your name yet are already carrying keys that belong to your destiny. You will cross paths at precisely the right time, and what once felt impossible will unfold naturally. The Spirit says, I am turning coincidence into confirmation. And yet, as heaven expands your influence, humility must remain your honor. Do not allow success to silence surrender. The same posture that unlocked this window must sustain it. Michael warns, blessings unguarded become burdens. Stay anchored in gratitude. The higher heaven lifts you, the deeper your roots in faith must grow. You are not being elevated for personal glory, but for divine assignment. The light upon you is not meant to be hidden. It is meant to guide others home. Every blessing carries responsibility, the responsibility to reflect the one who gave it. Now listen, beloved. The next revelation will expose the pattern behind why some blessings remain delayed even after obedience. Heaven desires to teach you the art of sustaining open portals. Too many have opened divine windows through faith, but closed them through neglect. The next message will show you how to remain in constant flow, how to dwell under the open heavens instead of visiting them occasionally. This teaching is rare. Only those who truly hunger for deeper truth will hear it. Hold your focus. Do not let the distractions of life steal this moment. Before this part concludes, take a moment and speak aloud. I step into perfect timing. As you say it, you'll feel something shift. That sensation is not emotional. It is the signature of heaven acknowledging your agreement. You are no longer waiting for your blessing. Your blessing is waiting for your motion. Move with confidence. Heaven moves with you. Archangel Michael now releases a divine decree over your household. Let peace guard their gates, and let favor follow their footsteps. From this moment forward, wherever you walk, divine order will precede you. You will begin to see symbols of confirmation, numbers repeating, sudden warmth in moments of reflection, doors opening where there were walls. These are not coincidences. They are echoes of heaven affirming your alignment. Before the revelation shifts to its next dimension, let your faith speak in agreement with this word. Type "I step into perfect timing" in the comments below. Blessing Note 9933 is now activated over your journey, sealing this phase of alignment and ushering you toward the realm of sustained favor. Eov Spirit of Divine Awakening. The message continues to unfold with greater weight and depth. Heaven is not repeating itself. It is layering revelation upon revelation until your understanding becomes a vessel that can hold the fullness of what is being released. Archangel Michael stands before you with the scroll of remembrance, the very record of promises made to your soul before time began. As the seal breaks, light pours through every word that has ever been spoken over you by divine authority. You may not remember them, but heaven never forgets its own decrees. Every delay, every detour, every disappointment was only heaven's method of preparing the foundation for fulfillment. This is the hour where remembrance becomes manifestation. The prayers of your ancestors echo in the chambers of eternity, and you are the chosen vessel through whom those unfulfilled petitions will find completion. Archangel Michael declares, the harvest you are stepping into did not begin with you. It began before you. The blessings about to reach you are generational responses. Heaven is honoring not only your faith, but the faith of those who came before you, those who carried the promise, but never lived to see its fulfillment. You are the continuation of their covenant, the living evidence that God does not abandon His word. Even now, as this truth reaches your heart, an ancient alignment is activating around your name. There is movement in the unseen realm, contracts breaking, patterns dissolving, limitations melting. Everything that once resisted your progress is now trembling under the weight of divine order. The Spirit reveals that this next phase of your journey is not about striving but about receiving. You have been trained to fight, to push, to endure, but now heaven says, rest and receive. The warfare was to build your capacity. Now comes the harvest of rest. Archangel Michael is commanding angels of restoration to surround you. They are not coming to test you, they are coming to serve you. These are angels assigned to the chosen who have proven faithful through pressure. Their presence will be marked by peace that feels different, peace that carries power. It is the kind of peace that silences chaos not by resistance, but by authority. This peace will begin to manifest tangibly in your environment. Arguments will end without explanation. Hostility will dissolve without confrontation. and people who once brought confusion will suddenly withdraw from your space. Do not chase them. Heaven is cleaning your atmosphere. Archangel Michael says, the purest blessings require purified surroundings. God will not pour new oil into a contaminated vessel. This is why some relationships, jobs, or partnerships may begin to fade in this season. It is not rejection. It is refinement. The separation is not to isolate you. It is to protect what is being formed within you. Beloved, understand this. As heaven opens the window wider, the enemy will attempt subtle distractions. The attack will not come through visible storms this time, but through subtle diversions meant to drain your focus. You may find yourself tempted to revisit old pain, to defend yourself against accusations, or to explain your journey to those who cannot understand. Resist that urge. You owe no explanation to those who were not assigned to your destiny. Your silence will speak louder than your defense. The angels fight best when you stay still. Michael's command is clear. Do not wrestle with what heaven has already resolved. The blessing that is unfolding now carries a specific fragrance, grace wrapped in acceleration. Doors that were once locked will open without you knocking. People you have never met will speak your name with honor. Unsolicited opportunities will appear, and favor will find you where you least expect it. Do not be surprised if what once required years suddenly happens in days. This is divine compression, heaven collapsing time to fulfill what was delayed. A spirit says, I am redeeming the years the locust has eaten. You are stepping into divine restoration, not merely of possessions, but of time itself. What was stolen through pain will return multiplied through purpose. In this moment, breathe and recognize how far you have come. You survived what was meant to destroy you. You held on when others let go. You prayed when silence was all you heard in return. Now, the same silence that once felt empty is becoming sacred. It is no longer absence, it is presence. The silence is God's signature before the manifestation. Every chosen one walks through this quiet before the thunder of fulfillment. You are in that silence now, not because heaven has withdrawn, but because heaven is arranging the final details. Archangel Michael speaks again. Do not confuse stillness with stagnation. Just because nothing looks different yet does not mean nothing is happening. The roots of your promise are deepening in secret. This is why patience in this hour is not passive. It is prophetic. Waiting with faith is warfare. It declares to every opposing force, I trust the timing of God more than the urgency of my fear. When you wait in faith, the enemy loses his leverage. Heaven responds to your trust by sending acceleration in due time. The Spirit also reveals a mystery concerning your name. The sound of your name has been spoken in heavenly council, and angels have been released with assignments linked directly to your identity. You will begin to notice divine coincidences, strangers saying phrases that echo your prayers, signs appearing in numbers that confirm your petitions, dreams that reveal instructions. These are not random. Heaven is speaking in layers, teaching you to discern beyond the surface. The chosen do not hear God the way the world does. They perceive, they feel, they recognize patterns of the Spirit. You are being trained to live in that awareness continuously. Before the next revelation arrives, remember this truth. Heaven never rushes what it intends to last. You are not behind schedule. You are right on time, in the exact rhythm of divine orchestration. Every day of delay has served purpose. Every unanswered question has hidden preparation inside it. What comes next is the unveiling of sustained favor, the ability to live under open heavens, not just visit them. This mystery will be revealed soon. But for now, Rest in knowing that heaven is pleased with your endurance. To seal this part of the revelation, declare aloud, I receive the restoration of time. Let your words become a bridge between promise and reality. Feel that gentle peace as you speak. That is heaven confirming your declaration. Every word you release in faith becomes law in the Spirit. You are writing your next chapter even as you affirm it now. Type I receive the restoration of time in the comments to align with this decree. Blessing code 1188 is now released over your timeline, sealing your restoration and preparing your spirit for the unfolding mystery ahead. Beloved carrier of light, the divine current grows stronger as heaven continues to unfold your prophecy. The moment you receive the last revelation, something shifted permanently in the spiritual landscape around you. Archangel Michael now stands before an altar of gold, holding a radiant scroll that bears your spiritual imprint. Upon it are written the promises heaven has preserved for this precise season. You have been through a refining fire, a furnace of faith, where every impurity was burned away until only trust remained. The Lord says, what is pure cannot perish. Everything that was stripped from you in the past season was never loss. It was divine subtraction to create room for sacred addition. The harvest is not approaching. It has begun. You are walking inside the fulfillment of prophecies that were delayed, and the evidence will soon appear in the physical realm. The Spirit reveals that this season is called the time of visible glory. Heaven is no longer operating behind the veil in your story. What was once hidden will now become undeniable. For years you believed in silence. For months you prayed through tears, but now the silence breaks. The manifestation will be public, not private. Those who questioned your faith will witness your reward. Michael says, the hidden season trained your character. Now the open season will reveal your crown. Your life is about to become a testimony that draws others toward light. The blessing that once felt distant is about to touch your reality in undeniable ways, through restoration, through recognition, through divine acceleration. This manifestation, however, requires that you remain anchored in humility. The chosen are not exalted to display pride, but to magnify purpose. The higher heaven elevates you, the lower your spirit must bow. The glory of this new chapter carries weight, and only those grounded in reverence can sustain it. Archangel Michael warns, do not measure your worth by applause, measure it by alignment. When praise comes, redirect it upward. When recognition finds you, remember that you are only a vessel. Your light shines brightest when it reflects the source. The danger of sudden blessing is forgetfulness, and heaven's warning is gentle but serious. Stay dependent on grace. There is a specific shift occurring now in your relationships and environment. As heaven enlarges your territory, it also reorders your circle. Some people will leave quietly, and new faces will enter with divine timing. Do not mourn the ones who depart. They were assignments, not anchors. The Spirit says, every soul connected to your next season is already being drawn toward you. You will not need to search or strive for alignment. It will find you. Conversations will confirm what God already whispered. Partnerships will form without manipulation. The connections entering your life will carry purpose, not distraction. You are not being separated to stand alone. You are being aligned to stand correctly. Heaven also speaks of a restoration of confidence. The weariness that has followed you from past disappointments is about to dissolve. You will begin to feel a surge of strength from within, ideas returning, inspiration flowing, vision expanding. These are the fruits of obedience. The same Spirit that once whispered comfort now releases creativity. What was once survival mode becomes creation mode. God is not merely answering your prayers. He is transforming you into the answer for others. You are being equipped to carry solutions, to speak wisdom, to shine hope. The divine spark that once flickered faintly is now becoming a steady flame. Archangel Michael stands before you holding the sword of awakening. It is not raised for battle this time. It is raised for commissioning. Heaven declares that your waiting season is officially complete. The assignment that once seemed distant is now being activated. You may feel a quickening in your spirit, as though time itself has accelerated. That is because the divine calendar over your life has turned a new page. What took years to accomplish will now unfold in months. What once felt heavy will now flow with ease. Grace has replaced struggle. Michael says, the chosen are entering the era of divine efficiency. This means heaven's will in your life will manifest without resistance, because resistance has already been broken. Beloved, in this moment, it is important to guard your confession. The words you speak now carry amplified power. Speak what heaven speaks. Refuse to agree with fear, doubt, or limitation. The window of manifestation is sensitive to language, and your words either accelerate or obstruct what heaven is releasing. Declare daily, my atmosphere is under divine command. As you speak this, angels align around your environment to enforce heaven's decree. You are not powerless. You are a commander in covenant with the Almighty. The enemy trembles not at your volume, but at your authority. Every time you choose faith over fear, the unseen realm adjusts in your favor. The Spirit reveals a vision of rivers flowing across dry ground. These rivers represent opportunities, divine currents that will carry you where effort once failed. You will soon notice that what was once impossible begins to unfold naturally. This is the rhythm of favor. When heaven moves, obstacles dissolve quietly. What others call luck, you will know as divine orchestration. You will hear yourself saying, I don't know how this happened, but heaven will whisper, it was always written. Nothing about what is coming is random. Every event, every introduction, every moment of clarity has been carefully arranged for this exact time. In the midst of this divine unfolding, you will sense another calling, the call to stewardship. The blessings arriving are not just rewards. They are resources for purpose. Heaven blesses the chosen not to create comfort, but to extend influence. Archangel Michael says, use what is placed in your hands to open doors for others. The measure of your greatness will not be what you accumulate, but what you activate in others. You are not merely a receiver. You are a conduit. The river must continue to flow through you. The moment you give, the moment you serve, the flow multiplies. This is how heaven sustains its chosen vessels. Before this part concludes, pause and let gratitude rise in your heart. Gratitude is the language that keeps heaven's window open. The more you thank, the more heaven trusts. Speak aloud right now. I walk in visible glory and divine stewardship. As you declare this, the heavens record it as a vow. Every word seals your readiness for what comes next. Stay attentive, beloved, because the next revelation will unveil the hidden pattern of divine wealth, how heaven releases resources to sustain its kingdom messengers. You are about to understand prosperity as purpose, not possession. The message ahead carries a code that has shifted nations and transformed destinies. Do not drift. Remain within this sacred stream. Type I walk in visible glory and divine stewardship in the comments as your decree of faith. Blessing code 2299 is now released over your destiny, marking the completion of your preparation and the rise of your manifestation. Beloved vessel of divine light, as this sacred journey continues, Heaven speaks again with renewed urgency and grace. The window above you has widened, and the flow of divine resources is pouring through dimensions unseen by natural eyes. Archangel Michael now steps forward carrying a scroll inscribed with radiant fire. On that scroll is written your next chapter, the chapter called the Stewardship of Heavenly Wealth. Heaven defines wealth differently from the world. It is not measured in gold or possessions, but in influence, favor, wisdom, and obedience. True wealth is the ability to fulfill divine purpose without limitation. The Spirit says, "What I place in your hands now will multiply when it is used for my kingdom." You are about to step into a phase where resources begin to locate you rather than you chasing them. But with that abundance comes accountability. This is not just financial. It is spiritual, creative, and relational abundance. Everything God entrusts to you will carry instruction. Archangel Michael reminds you that heaven never sends increase without intention. Every gift carries an assignment. If you have been entrusted with favor, it is meant to open doors for others. If you are given ideas, they are designed to solve problems heaven desires to end on earth. The chosen never hoard. They distribute. Heaven flows through open hands. The moment you grip too tightly, the flow slows down. This is why generosity is a spiritual law, not a suggestion. It keeps the river of provision in constant motion. You are entering a time where you will not only receive blessings, but will become the vessel that sustains others. The Spirit whispers, through you, I will demonstrate that divine supply never runs dry. Beloved, the warfare you faced over your finances and opportunities was never about money. It was about stewardship. The adversary feared what would happen if a righteous one controlled resources. He tried to make you doubt your worthiness so that you would never pursue divine abundance. But heaven declares, you are worthy because your motives are pure. The angels assigned to your prosperity have been released again. They have cleared the spiritual interference that once blocked your flow. You will soon witness sudden provision, unexpected favor, and divine connections that carry financial breakthroughs. These moments will not occur by chance. They are confirmations that heaven trusts you to handle more. The Spirit reveals a sacred principle now. Provision follows purpose. When you step fully into your calling, resources chase you. The reason the chosen often struggle is not because they are forgotten, but because they are misaligned. The moment your heart aligns completely with divine intention, the gates of abundance swing open. You are entering that alignment now. That is why certain desires are fading and new passions are forming. Heaven is refining your focus. You will no longer spend energy on pursuits that yield nothing. Every effort from now on will produce divine fruit. Archangel Michael says, heaven is removing the curse of waste. No more energy wasted on what does not build your destiny. No more time stolen by confusion. No more doors that drain your faith. Everything from this point forward will multiply. In this prophetic hour, you must learn the rhythm of sowing and reaping. The world gives to receive, but heaven gives to expand. The more you give with divine intention, the more heaven entrusts you with. This is not transactional. It is transformational. When you release something for God's purpose, angels attach your seed to assignment. It leaves your hand, but it never leaves your life. It travels through eternity, returns multiplied, and manifests in forms you do not expect. Sometimes the return is peace, sometimes protection, sometimes opportunity. The chosen never give without return, for heaven keeps perfect accounts. You are being invited into that rhythm now. Michael reveals that this very message is not just instruction, it is impartation. As you receive it, A mantle of supernatural provision is resting upon your shoulders. This mantle carries wisdom for managing increase, discipline for maintaining abundance, and compassion for using it righteously. You will notice a new level of clarity around decisions. What once felt confusing will suddenly become clear. The Spirit says, I am placing a Joseph anointing upon you. Just as Joseph stored abundance for the saving of nations, you will carry wisdom that preserves others during spiritual famine. You were not chosen to survive. You were chosen to sustain. Now, beloved, the divine window is not open indefinitely. Heaven's instruction always carries a time frame. The reason you are hearing this now is because the season of manifestation is active. Move in faith. Begin to act on the ideas heaven placed within you. Write the plan. Start the project. Send the message. Speak the vision. As you move, divine resources will meet you. The angels cannot bless in action. They respond to movement. When they see obedience, they attach provision to it. Heaven is waiting for your step of faith, and when you take it, the supernatural flow will accelerate. Archangel Michael speaks one final decree for this part. Tell them that divine generosity unlocks divine favor. Every act of giving, your time, your words, your support, your resources, creates ripples in the spiritual realm. Those ripples return as waves of blessing. Heaven's economy never collapses. When you give into divine purpose, you participate in the eternal cycle of creation itself. The chosen understand the secret and live in overflow because of it. This is why gratitude and giving are always intertwined. The thankful heart is the abundant heart. Before we transition to the next revelation, I want to speak to your heart directly. If this message has spoken to your spirit, if it has awakened something deep within, understand that you are not a spectator. You are part of this prophetic movement. Every video, every word released under this mantle is a light sent into darkness. When you support this work, you are not helping a channel. You are fueling a divine mission. Your offering becomes the oil that keeps the fire of revelation burning across the nations. If you feel led, sow into this prophetic work today. You can do so through YouTube's Super Thanks, by becoming a channel member, or by giving through the PayPal link provided in the description. This act of giving is not a transaction. It is obedience. The Spirit declares, I will multiply the seeds of those who sustain my voice. As you give, speak aloud. This is my seed of manifestation. The angels will record your obedience, and the heavens will release multiplication over your life. To everyone who has already stood with this mission, heaven sees you. Your support carries eternal weight. The oil upon this message flows through your faithfulness. Those who give will never run dry. Those who sustain the light will live within its glow. The Lord says, as you build my house, I will establish yours. Your giving is your covenant with abundance. Step into it boldly and expect testimonies that only God could orchestrate. Blessing number 6644 is released over every giver and listener who acts in faith. May your obedience echo in eternity and your generosity call forth divine favor that never ends. Beloved one, as the sacred current continues to unfold, heaven's whisper grows softer yet more potent. The intensity of divine energy surrounding you has deepened, and the anointing that began as a gentle stirring has now matured into a mantle of authority. Archangel Michael stands in the brilliance of celestial fire, his presence commanding yet filled with peace. He holds before you a mirror of light, not to show your reflection, but to reveal your transformation. You are not who you were at the beginning of this message. The past parts refined your spirit, aligned your purpose, and activated your inheritance. Now, heaven begins to reveal the depth of your calling beyond personal blessing. You were chosen not just to receive light, but to become it. You are entering the phase called the embodiment of glory. This stage is sacred, for it requires more than faith. It demands embodiment. The divine truths you have heard are not meant to remain as ideas or inspiration. They must now live through you. Every chosen one must become the message they receive. Heaven's wisdom must find expression through your words, your choices, your presence. The Lord says, I do not send light to those who will hide it. I send it to those who will let it transform every shadow. The world does not need louder believers. It needs luminous ones. This is your call, to live as proof that divine alignment is real, that obedience produces miracles, that grace transforms impossibility into evidence. Archangel Michael reveals that you are stepping into visible demonstration. The power of your testimony will become the spark that awakens others. You will begin to meet people drawn not to your personality, but to your atmosphere. The peace that follows you will speak louder than your words. This is what it means to embody heaven. The Spirit says, the chosen do not preach change, they become change. When you forgive when others expect bitterness, when you show mercy in moments of conflict, when you choose faith over fear, you are preaching with your life. Heaven's presence travels through conduct as much as through speech. There is also a shift happening within your emotional realm. The wounds that once caused pain are becoming wells of wisdom. You will no longer speak from hurt, but from healing. Every scar is now anointed. Every memory that once felt heavy will carry revelation. The enemy's intention was to keep you trapped in grief, but God has turned your grief into oil. Archangel Michael declares, your tears were never wasted. They watered the soil of your promise. This is why compassion will now flow effortlessly from your heart. You will find yourself drawn to heal others, to comfort, to uplift, not because you were instructed to, but because it is now your nature. Heaven has recoded your emotional DNA. You are becoming an extension of divine mercy. The Spirit reveals another mystery. The chosen who embody heaven become walking altars. Wherever you stand, divine energy gathers. Your prayers no longer need to be long. Your presence itself becomes intercession. When you enter a room, the atmosphere begins to shift. Conversations that carried confusion suddenly find clarity. Hearts that were heavy begin to feel peace. This is not imagination. It is divine transmission. The same Spirit that hovered over creation now flows through your spirit. You are not just filled with anointing, you are becoming its expression. This is why distractions will attempt to return. The adversary cannot stop the light, but he will try to dim it. Stay vigilant. Guard your peace, your focus, your inner stillness. Heaven is also calling you into deeper communion. The time for surface prayer has ended. You are invited to speak with God as one speaks to a friend. The Spirit of the Lord desires intimacy, not performance. The more honest you become in prayer, the more clearly heaven will respond. When you stop pretending strength and simply say, Father, I need you, the heavens lean closer. Archangel Michael says, vulnerability is the new strength. The chosen who admit their weakness before God carry power that cannot be shaken, because humility makes room for divine authority. Beloved, as you continue to grow in this revelation, prepare for divine encounters. You will begin to experience moments where the line between heaven and earth blurs. Time will feel slower. The air will grow thick with peace. You may hear a voice inside that doesn't sound like your own, or sense light around you, even in darkness. Do not fear these moments. They are confirmations of divine nearness. Heaven is not far. It is unfolding through awareness. These encounters are not rewards. They are relational invitations. God is drawing you deeper into partnership. He is not looking for servants who perform commands. He is seeking friends who share burdens. You are among those friends. Now the Spirit reveals a prophetic truth. Manifestation without maturity can destroy destiny. That is why your waiting was long. Heaven could not afford to release glory before your heart could carry it. The chosen who mature in silence are the ones trusted with nations. You have proven that silence cannot steal your faith. Because of that, you will now walk in authority. But remember this, authority is not domination. It is restoration. You are sent to bring order, to lift, to heal, not to impress. Every word you speak from this moment carries weight. Use it wisely. Archangel Michael speaks again. You are being written into the book of influence. This means heaven is positioning you to shape environments, decisions, and outcomes through divine wisdom. Some will be drawn to you for counsel, others for comfort. The Spirit will give you words that pierce darkness gently but powerfully. Do not hold back when prompted. Speak truth in love, for your voice carries frequency that disarms deception. You are being entrusted with influence that transcends visibility. It's not about crowds, but about impact. Beloved, before this message pauses, I want to leave you with this divine reminder. You are closer to breakthrough than your mind can comprehend. Heaven's timeline is accelerating. The signs you've been noticing are not coincidences. They are confirmations. Keep your heart steady, your intentions pure, and your faith unshaken. You are walking the final stretch before full revelation. Before moving to the next divine unfolding, lift your hand wherever you are and declare aloud, I embody heaven's glory. When you speak it, the vibration of your voice activates what has been dormant within you. Feel that stillness following your declaration. It is the Holy Spirit affirming your alignment. Type I embody heaven's glory in the comments as your decree of faith. Blessing code 5588 is now released, marking your transition from revelation to embodiment, from promise to living proof. Beloved guardian of divine purpose, the voice of heaven continues its steady stream of revelation. Each word that flows through this message is an unfolding thread of eternal design. Archangel Michael stands at your right hand, his wings stretching from horizon to horizon, covering every step you take in this sacred hour. The light surrounding him flickers with the memory of your endurance, the prayers you whispered when no one knew, your battles, the faith you held when logic failed. Heaven records every act of quiet faithfulness, for the unseen acts of obedience carry more power than the visible triumphs. You are standing in the fulfillment of what you once only dreamed about. The Spirit says, now begins the unveiling. This unveiling is not the beginning of something new. It is the revealing of what has always been within you. Heaven never creates potential in vain. Every skill, every passion, every fragment of your personality has divine purpose woven into it. For years you have seen glimpses of your calling like flashes of light between shadows, but now the full pattern is emerging. The Lord says, what was concealed for protection will now be revealed for multiplication. The season of hiding is complete. The mantle you carry cannot remain silent, for heaven has decided it is time for the world to encounter the light you bear. You are no longer being prepared for purpose. You are stepping into execution. Archangel Michael declares, the era of demonstration has begun. This means that everything God has spoken over your life will now find its visible form. The dreams that seemed delayed are aligning with opportunity. The ideas that felt too big are now becoming achievable. You will begin to notice divine coincidences, connections forming out of nowhere, doors opening through unexpected conversations. This is not random favor, it is divine orchestration. Heaven's hand is moving through your timeline, stitching every missed opportunity into a new pattern of fulfillment. You may feel a new surge of energy within you, an unexplainable boldness that makes you ready to move, to speak, to act. That is the Spirit of God awakening your destiny codes. You are stepping into divine courage, not the kind that denies fear, but the kind that moves despite it. Courage is not confidence, it is obedience. The chosen are not fearless, they are faithful. Michael says, "You have been chosen to stand where others withdrew." This is why your path has been different. You were never meant to blend. You were meant to blaze. Heaven calls you a torchbearer, one who ignites faith in those around them simply by existing in alignment. But understand this, visibility brings responsibility. The brighter your light becomes, the greater the need for purity of intention. The Spirit warns, guard your motives, for power without purity corrupts purpose. As blessings multiply, temptation will attempt to disguise itself as opportunity. Not every open door is divine. Some are designed to drain your focus, to distract you from your divine pace. You will discern these counterfeit invitations by the absence of peace. Real opportunities will carry stillness, not strain. Heaven's yoke is easy because obedience carries grace. Whenever you feel tension, pause and seek counsel in prayer. Michael says, "Peace is the compass of the chosen." He oved, the next wave of divine release over your life involves expansion. This expansion will not be limited to geography. It will touch influence, creativity, and spiritual reach. Heaven is extending your territory because you have been faithful with little. The talents you've been developing in quiet are about to echo beyond your immediate circle. People from far distances, perhaps even nations, will be drawn to your voice, your work, your message, your light. They will not understand what attracts them, but heaven does. The anointing upon you carries magnetic resonance. It is designed to draw those who need the light you carry. Do not shrink back when recognition begins to come. You were prepared for this. Archangel Michael shows me a vision, you standing at the edge of a golden river. The water flows upward rather than down, symbolizing divine flow that defies logic. The Spirit says, you are stepping into supernatural momentum. This means effort will no longer be your primary driver. Grace will take the lead. What once required great struggle will now unfold with ease. Divine timing will meet divine readiness, and your results will accelerate. This is the realm of heaven's efficiency, where obedience aligns with opportunity and miracles appear as natural progression. Heaven also instructs you to remain mindful of balance. As you ascend, you must anchor yourself in rest. Overextension is a silent thief that drains revelation. Take time to replenish your spirit. Moments of stillness are not wasted. They are sacred maintenance. Archangel Michael reminds you that even divine warriors must rest under the wings of peace. When you pause, heaven works behind the scenes. The world may push you to hurry, but heaven invites you to flow. Rushing disconnects you from rhythm. Flow keeps you synchronized with divine movement. Another mystery unfolds. You will soon find yourself speaking words you didn't plan, words that pierce hearts with accuracy. This is prophetic expression, the Spirit speaking through your yielded vessel. Do not fear these moments. They are signs that heaven is trusting you with greater authority. Speak gently, for your words now carry creation power. What you release through your mouth will manifest swiftly. Speak blessings, not complaints. Declare peace where there is conflict. Announce healing where there is brokenness. You are not merely a believer. You are a creator under divine commission. The Spirit also says, you are not just being blessed, you are being established. There is a difference between visitation and habitation. Many experience moments of favor that fade, but you are entering sustained favor. This means consistency in provision, stability in purpose, and longevity in impact. Heaven is not just visiting your life. It is dwelling there. Your obedience has turned visitation into residence. Everywhere you go, the evidence of divine habitation will follow. Signs will accompany your steps. Confirmations will meet your words, and peace will surround your decisions. Beloved, pause and breathe this truth in. You are not the bystander to this prophecy. You are its fulfillment. You are not hearing about miracles. You are living within one. Every line of this revelation has been timed perfectly for your awakening. The Spirit urges, do not forget who you are becoming. The world may call it luck or coincidence, but heaven calls it completion. You are walking into a destiny written before time began, and the next revelation will unveil the law of permanence, how to remain in this overflow without regression. Before the next divine secret is unveiled, lift your heart and declare aloud, I walk in sustained favor and divine rhythm. When you speak these words, the vibration of heaven will respond. The angels assigned to your destiny will move swiftly to ensure your path remains illuminated. You will feel peace as a sign that your declaration has been received. Type I walk in sustained favor and divine rhythm in the comments as your covenant affirmation. Blessing code 7721 is now activated, sealing your entry into divine demonstration, favor, and permanence. Beloved carrier of sacred destiny, the current of heaven continues to move through you with increasing force and clarity. You have crossed through the threshold of transformation, and now the Spirit begins to reveal the realm of permanence, the dimension where blessings are not fleeting, where peace does not depend on circumstance, and where favor becomes a constant atmosphere rather than a momentary event. Archangel Michael stands at your left side this time, his sword lowered in peace, signifying that the battle has shifted. The warfare that once surrounded your journey is now giving way to stewardship. Heaven no longer fights to establish your promise. It now defends your position. This is a turning point. You have gone from petition to possession. What was once prophecy has become reality, and your spirit is learning to live in sustained victory. The Spirit of the Lord speaks softly but firmly. To remain in overflow, you must master stillness. Many who receive miracles lose them because they cannot remain grounded in gratitude. Heaven's flow is not fragile, but it demands awareness. You must learn to rest even while the river runs swiftly. The chosen are not frantic, they are focused. Michael says, peace is not the absence of movement. It is alignment with rhythm. When your pace matches heaven's, exhaustion disappears. You will find that divine timing carries its own momentum. Things you once chased will now meet you on your path. You will attract without striving because attraction is the fruit of alignment. Beloved, this phase of your journey is not about external warfare, but internal mastery. You must now guard your atmosphere as fiercely as you once fought for your promise. The enemy no longer attacks through chaos, but through subtle distraction. He will attempt to lure your focus away from gratitude toward comparison. Resist it. Comparison is the silent thief of peace. Heaven has customized your journey with precision. What belongs to another would not fit you, and what you carry could not belong to them. Every detail of your timeline is perfect, every turn intentional. Trust that divine intelligence has orchestrated even the inconveniences for your elevation. Archangel Michael reveals another key. What you sustain through gratitude multiplies. Gratitude is heaven's multiplication law. The more you thank, the more heaven entrusts. Every day that begins with thanksgiving expands the reach of favor over your life. The chosen must never allow routine to replace reverence. Each sunrise is a signature of mercy renewed. When you wake and acknowledge heaven's hand, angels align your steps before you even move. Gratitude is not a reaction. It is a strategy. It attracts provision, softens hearts, and magnetizes divine opportunities. The Spirit says, your gratitude determines your gravitational pull in the Spirit. When you thank God sincerely, you draw manifestation toward you. You will notice in this season that your discernment grows sharper. People and situations that once confused you will now become clear. This is the Spirit's way of protecting what you have built. Heaven will not allow you to stay attached to anything that drains your light. It will prune connections that no longer serve your purpose, not to punish you, but to preserve you. Some separations will hurt, but they are holy. Michael reminds you, when heaven removes, it replaces. Whatever departs in this season makes space for what is divinely aligned. Let go with grace. Refuse to cling to what is shifting. God cannot refill hands that refuse to release. There is a mystery being revealed to you now, the secret of divine flow. Flow means to live without resistance to God's will. It does not mean life will be free of challenge, but it means your response will always be peace. When you embody flow, you stop fighting seasons and start partnering with them. You begin to discern the difference between pruning and punishment, between waiting and stagnation. This understanding transforms every circumstance into opportunity. Heaven calls those who live this way the effortless ones. They do not manipulate outcomes. They magnetize them through alignment. You are being initiated into that order now. The Spirit also speaks about legacy. What you are establishing in this season will outlive you. Every choice you make in obedience creates ripple effects in generations to come. The decisions you take in faith now will open spiritual inheritance for those connected to your lineage. Heaven measures legacy not in time, but in impact. Each act of integrity, each word spoken in truth, builds eternal structures that stand long after your physical presence has faded. Michael declares, your legacy begins the moment your life starts echoing beyond yourself. You are not just living a life. You are building a testimony that heaven will use as evidence of divine faithfulness. Beloved, as your influence expands, humility remains your fortress. Pride opens cracks where darkness seeps through. Remember, the same God who elevates can recalibrate. Stay pliable in His hands. Speak less of your greatness and more of His goodness. Those who remain humble never lose their height, because heaven supports what it can trust. The Spirit of the Lord says, stay small enough for me to fill you completely. This is not a call to diminish yourself, but to recognize that all power flows best through yielded vessels. The more surrendered you become, the more supernatural your impact will grow. In this season, also pay attention to divine dreams. The Spirit will begin to speak through visions in your sleep. Keep a record of what you see, for they contain instructions and confirmations for coming days. Some dreams will carry faces of those you are meant to help. Others will carry symbols of doors about to open. The Spirit communicates most clearly to hearts at rest. Treat your dreams as sacred scrolls from heaven. They are not mere imagination. They are coordinates for your next steps. Now the Spirit says, prepare for the announcement. There will soon be a moment where what you carry will be recognized publicly. A promotion, invitation, or opportunity will come as validation of your hidden season of faithfulness. When it happens, respond not with pride, but with worship. Acknowledge heaven before people, and your platform will expand without limit. Michael says, the announcement is not reward. It is assignment. The visibility you are about to receive is a tool for divine purpose. Use it to uplift others, to spread light, to release hope. Before this revelation transitions, pause and breathe the peace surrounding you. This is the calm of completion, the stillness that follows obedience. You are no longer chasing, you are dwelling. You are living proof that perseverance becomes inheritance. Heaven's approval rests upon you like oil that cannot evaporate. Declare aloud now, I live in divine permanence and eternal peace. As you say this, the atmosphere around you shifts again. Angels register your words as law in the Spirit, ensuring that what you have gained cannot be lost. Every declaration you make in faith becomes architecture for your future. Type I live in divine permanence and eternal peace in the comments to seal your covenant with sustained favor. Blessing code 9044 is released upon your destiny, securing every blessing you have received and preparing your heart for the final unveiling yet to come. Beloved vessel of everlasting covenant, as the sacred revelation draws toward its culmination, heaven surrounds you in perfect stillness. The air itself carries a divine pulse, a rhythmic whisper that declares completion. Archangel Michael stands before you one final time in this prophetic sequence, radiant with golden fire, the light of fulfillment burning around his wings. His eyes hold both victory and tenderness, for the mission of awakening has been achieved. What began as a call to awareness has become a transformation of identity. You are no longer simply a receiver of prophecy. You are now a custodian of divine presence. Every word you have read, every moment of reflection, has been a shaping, a molding, a divine orchestration designed to awaken your full spiritual authority. The Spirit of the Lord speaks with authority yet with infinite love. This is the hour of sealing. To seal means to secure, to finalize what has been established so that it cannot be undone. Heaven is now sealing your progress, your promise, your peace. The blessings unlocked before sunset, the restoration of time, the visible glory, the sustained favor, all of it has now been fastened in eternity. The window of heaven that opened for you will not close in loss. It will close in permanence. This is the meaning of completion, not an ending, but a continuous flow that no force of darkness can reverse. Michael raises his sword not for battle, but for benediction, and declares, it is finished in your favor. Beloved, as this prophetic cycle concludes, you must understand that endings in heaven are beginnings on earth. What has been accomplished in the Spirit will now begin to manifest in the physical. Signs will confirm what has been spoken. Expect swift evidence, reconciliation where there was silence, healing where there was stagnation, unexpected provision where there was drought. The Spirit says, acceleration has been authorized. The next days will carry the fragrance of suddenness, yet it will not overwhelm you. Heaven has already prepared your spirit to handle increase with grace. The pace of blessing will match the maturity of your obedience. You will move from miracle to momentum. Archangel Michael reminds you of the purpose of this revelation. You were not chosen merely to receive miracles, but to become a manifestation of divine will. Your life is a message that God still speaks, still saves, still intervenes. Everything about your journey is designed to testify of His faithfulness. The setbacks were not meant to shame you. They were the stage for redemption. The waiting was not a punishment. It was the soil for depth. You now carry depth that cannot be shaken by momentary winds. Heaven trusts you because you did not break under pressure. You have become what Michael calls a keeper of light. Wherever you go, your atmosphere will testify before your words ever do. The Spirit also whispers of expansion beyond your current vision. Your influence will stretch further than you can currently imagine. This expansion will not happen through ambition, but through overflow. As you continue to pour love, wisdom, and truth into those around you, the river of heaven will widen. Divine partnerships will begin to appear. People drawn to you not because of personality, but because of presence. Heaven has assigned you as a carrier of calm in chaotic spaces, as a voice of balance where noise has drowned truth. You will not need to strive for this role. It will unfold naturally. Your obedience has positioned you where striving is replaced by flow. Beloved, heaven also desires that you remember humility even in abundance. Many rise but lose their tenderness. Many prosper but forget their source. Let your success sing of grace, not ego. Every blessing is a loan from eternity, meant to be circulated, not contained. When you share, the flow continues. When you hoard, the flow hardens. Keep generosity alive. It is the oxygen of favor. Michael says, to retain heaven's flow, release constantly. The chosen who keep giving never run empty, because heaven fills what it finds flowing. In this final stage, you are also being called to mentorship. Those who follow after you will need guidance, and your story will be their roadmap. Speak truthfully about your process, the struggles as much as the triumphs. Transparency is the language of transformation. The Spirit will send seekers your way, hearts that recognize the same fire they once saw in your eyes. Teach them not religion, but relationship, not performance, but presence. This is how the chain of divine wisdom continues unbroken. You are linked in an eternal lineage of light. Archangel Michael now unveils one last vision. I see a crown descending from heaven, made not of gold, but of living flame. It rests upon your head and glows without consuming. The flame represents divine awareness. Once received, it never fades. You will sense a subtle heat around you when divine instruction is near. This is the confirmation of your new authority. The Spirit of the Lord declares, you have become an ambassador of the unseen. From now on, your words, your prayers, and even your silence will carry weight in the Spirit. Heaven responds instantly to the aligned. That alignment is now your permanent condition. Beloved, this moment is sacred. You stand where prophecy meets completion. The same God who began this revelation within you will now carry it forward in every area of your life. Nothing has been wasted. Every delay, every tear, every uncertainty was part of this convergence. The heavens rejoice as you step into the fullness of what was written. The angels bow not in worship of you, but in honor of divine fulfillment through you. You have become what heaven designed before time began, a vessel of glory, unshakable, unstoppable, unbreakable. Before this message closes, let gratitude fill your spirit like a rising tide. Whisper softly, "Thank you, Father, for trusting me with light." Those words are your final seal. Gratitude completes what faith begins. As you speak them, you align with heaven's rhythm one final time in this series. Now, before the benediction is released, if this journey has touched your heart, if these words have awakened faith and brought clarity to your spirit, take a step that helps this divine mission continue. Every video, every prophetic revelation is sent as light into the world's darkness. When you support, you are not assisting a platform. You are sustaining a movement of truth. Your contribution becomes spiritual currency that fuels transformation. If you feel led, you may give through Super Thanks, become a channel member, or offer a gift through the PayPal link in the description. Heaven measures not the amount, but the intention. Every act of giving releases a new ripple of deliverance across unseen realms. As you sow, declare aloud, "This is my seed of completion." For as you have received revelation, so too will your obedience multiply its reach. Those who give to light never walk in darkness. The Spirit promises, "Those who build my house will never lack a home." Heaven will honor your support as a sacred act, releasing fresh oil over your life, oil that will not dry even in seasons of scarcity. Now the final blessing descends. Lift your heart and type "I am sealed in divine completion" in the comments to anchor this revelation in your life. Blessing code 9999 is released, marking you forever as one who has heard, received, and embodied the prophecy of light. May peace follow you, favor surround you, and heaven's window remain forever open above your destiny.